up? What's up? What's up? All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Visionary Collectors, man. Go ahead. You good? All right, today we're here with a special guest, man. We got my boy Favour in the building. Hey.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Hey, so this is Favour, man. I really wanted to get this special guest on, before the spring break kicked off. This guy, we had met. It was kind of crazy because it was in a TSIM class here at Towson. So it was interesting how we met. So, we're gonna go into that and how we met, in his digital creation and how he has come to, Towson as a student as well, on campus. So, just tell them about yourself,
Hey, everybody. My name is Favour. I'm a student at Towson University. My major is computer science, and my goal is to just help everybody as much as I can.
That's what's up, man. Hey, shout out some, platforms that you have, the audience or listeners, they can follow you on.
Oh yeah, I have Instagram, YouTube, both the same which is at GIK_GoddessKing. So if you want to go follow me on there, we really appreciate that.
Hey, we appreciate that. We appreciate it. All right, man. So we want to kind of, dive into, Favour. So, tell us, you're good. So, tell us, a little bit about yourself, your journey as a digital creator and the ventures you've started or just seen.
So first of all, one major thing that, makes me as a person is my culture, my background. I come from a Nigerian family, and born and raised in Nigeria. And those things really shaped my value. And my family was originally Christian, and it really built me up as an individual into choose what I wanted to do in life. Yeah.
So, going off of that, so, your values and your culture. So how has that, really opened you up into the digital world and, into, starting a YouTube channel? And I've heard you started a YouTube channel and, you've been posting on Instagram, I've seen. So, tell us a little bit about that.
Let's start from the YouTube. So, when I first got to the U.S., because, born and raised in Nigeria, when I first got to the U.S., I watched a lot of YouTube videos, started with watching gaming content, and I really liked it. So I started, using my phone, my Samsung J3 Prime at the time, and started posting some mobile games, streaming, and later on, when I got to high school, sometime during the pandemic, I built a PC because I started to research what would be the best platform to, play games.
Mm-hmm.
I saw I could get a PS5 or I could get a PS4 at the time, or I could get Xbox. And I was like, oh, PC is the best one. It's the best combination of both. So I built my PC, and I started posting videos. I started streaming on YouTube, and then I went on to I watch montages on YouTube, like people that would edit Fortnite clips, and make it look cool, special effects and stuff, and that really pushed me to I want to start doing video editing. At first I wanted to do gaming content, but then I switched it to editing and making cool graphics for people to watch, and started getting some traction from there, but then I capped at 500 subscribers.
Bro, that's a lot of subscribers. That's a lot of subscribers.
Yeah.
500?
Yeah.
500. That's
500.
Yeah, I'm stuck at 1 right now. I just started my YouTube channel, for Visionary Collectors. But that's dope, man. 500 subscribers, and just off of nothing, you just did it kind of off of not an adventure almost. It's just off of love, of the the digital creations and YouTube platforms and Fortnite. That is so crazy. So would you say that you started this in what year? 2015?
I started in 2018,
19. 18, 19? 2018, 19.
Mm-hmm.
So, going, looking back then, 2018, 2019, what has changed in your personal digital creation, from 2018 to 2024, man. It's 2024. So what has changed, you?
I would say a lot has changed. Number one, I would say me as a person, I have developed. First thing that's a major difference is I don't play games anymore as I used to.
Really?
Yeah, I stopped because, I felt like they got boring, number one, and they were very distracting. So that's one major thing that has changed. And in terms of my digital space and my YouTube, I feel like I've improved a lot on my video editing skills. Because if you see my old my old montages, bro, I used to think they were so good. Now if I look at them, I'd be like, what was that? But as of right now, I think going through all of that, I started using I went through using editing softwares like Filmora. I went through using Filmora. I went through using Premiere Pro a little bit, and then I jumped straight to After Effects, and then now I'm using DaVinci Resolve to edit my videos and stuff. So I've gone through a lot of editing softwares, and I've learned a lot and improved creativity wise, what to do at certain sections of video that will captivate the people that watch the videos, and all of that has really improved over the years.
That's dope. So, that's so. I would never even have thought of all those editing softwares. I just use CapCut for for using videos for my YouTube channel or Instagram Reels. But I never even thought of that. You being a digital creator, yourself. I feel like that's another world into the digital creation side or technology wise. So what. So I know what type of, not softwares, but what type of, let's say, would you say this is a portable, not portable, but have you used iPads or computers? What type of computers have you used for your digital creation?
So the same desktop that I had in 2019 is the same one I'm using right now. It's just a little bit upgraded. So that's the same one I've been using. It has. It's working pretty well. That's why I decided to be a desktop. But then I've also used my MacBook a little bit. The OS is kind of different from my desktop, so I don't use it a lot. But I use my desktop to edit, and I would say the best one so far has been my desktop because it has more RAM, has more space. I have all of my assets on there, like my sound effects, my visual effects, overlays. I have all of them on there, so it's easier to just move the mouse, but it's harder to navigate the Mac and get stuff out of there.
So this is a desktop, right?
Yeah, it's a desktop.
And is this XPS desktop?
No, I built it.
Bro, okay, let's talk about that. You built your own desktop.
Yeah.
That's not out of the order. Not a lot of people just built their own, computers. So, talk about that. Talk about the experience of, you building that and what challenges you, have come across, when building that, and then what successes have you had as well?
Okay. Man, my computer journey has been a very, very fun one. Very nerve-wracking one. Okay. So I'm going to start from when I built it, right? I built the computer. It was very, very stressful because, you have all these little components. You don't want anything to bend, especially the CPU because, when you flip them over, you have, these pins at the back of it.
Yeah.
If any one of them bends, you have to buy a new one. And that CPU alone was, $200 and something. I was not trying to bend it. So, I had to be extremely careful putting it inside the motherboard. And thankfully, everything worked out. And the only thing left was for me to get fans for the computer, learning, because there's so many different wires and cables that you need to get to plug in here, plug in there, and I wanted to get RGB for my computer. The fans were working right, but I just needed lights, because they look cool. So that took a long time. For some time I couldn't use the computer, and but later down the line it worked. The RGB didn't really add anything to the computer, but it just added some aesthetics to the room that I had then. Going down the line later on, I watched some videos and I was like, oh, let me see how much more performance I can get out of this computer. And I ended up breaking the software. Kind of I went into the BIOS. The BIOS is kind of the brain of the motherboard, like something that's coded into the motherboard. So I went into that and changed some settings in there, and I restarted the computer. It wouldn't log into like Windows. It wouldn't boot, and I was like, oh no, why did I do this? So I started researching on my phone. That was such a nerve-wracking experience. I at this point, right now, I decided I'm just gonna stay away from the BIOS unless it's something necessary. But then, like, after that, I figured it out. The computer came back on, and I was like, yeah, never going back to the BIOS. Sometime later, Windows 11 comes out, and my computer can't get it immediately because I have to turn on secure boot. It's a setting in the BIOS. I had to do that, and I have to go in the BIOS. I turned it back on, and my computer wouldn't boot again. So
you can't even like troubleshoot it at this point. Like,
no.
Like,
so it would get stuck on like the black screen and say like, oh, something in couldn't boot into SSD or something like that. So I was like, what am I gonna do now? I just went back on YouTube, started searching up a whole bunch of things, went back into the BIOS, changed it back to normal. At first I gave up on like ever changing it to Windows 11, ever upgrading to Windows 11. But then 2 days passed, and I was like, let me try this again. I went back, changed the setting, figured out, okay, what else was I missing? And I did that, and boom, it started to work. I have Windows 11 now. So that's what I'm using. That's the OS I'm using right now. And yeah, talking about my computer journey, building a computer, one of the reasons why I decided to even build it in the first place is because I get to customize my own thing, right? It's not like somebody else built it. They have all the knowledge, right? And if anything breaks, I have to take it back to them. But for me, if anything breaks in the computer, I know enough to be able to fix what broke in there. So, things like that, they push me to, stick with the PC lane. And
bro, that is so crazy. Like me personally, I can never build a computer. I wish I even had that talent to, even have, like, it's like problem solving, like critical skills. And you have that, man. That's like a huge talent. That's like any employer, or you're like, even if you don't even want to be employed, like you want to, build your own business, or build, like, I think there's business out there where they build, their own, like, computers and, like, all that. Yeah. But that's dope, man. So, like, take us into, like, the research process of that. So, like, because I know that, everybody doesn't, what, like, research, so I heard you said YouTube, right? So, were you just, like, constantly researching, like, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like,
yeah, that was pretty much how it went. I went on YouTube, I went on Google also, and started like searching up, oh, why is this showing this? I literally searched up the exact same error code it was showing on the screen. Watched a whole bunch of videos. A lot of them were just BS. They weren't helping at all. But I just coupled everything together, everything I saw from each video, and it started to make more sense. Okay, let me try this, let me try that, let me try this, let me try that. And at some point, one thing worked. So it turned out to be the thing that I needed. And I have Windows 11.
Bro, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So, all right, speaking about, that's a crazy experience of it, as its own, your computer skills. So, let's talk about, you coming to America,
Yeah.
So how was that experience, you as a Nigerian?
Yeah.
So do you have dual citizenship, right? From Nigeria?
It's in process.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you coming from Nigeria to America, how has that experience been in the sense of communication, resources, schooling, and just, computer science, and your how you delve into, technology and,
Okay, so starting from back when I was in Nigeria, I literally, my siblings would literally just tell me, bro, why are you just like twinkling with things and this and that. At some point, I even fixed like the switch for the fan at home, like the ceiling fan. And
wait, when you checked the ceiling?
Yeah, so we, in Nigeria, we had ceiling fans and stuff, and like there was this switch that would like turn up the level on the wall, and that stuff in the house broke, and I was like, oh, it's just sitting there. We're not gonna wait for an electrician to do it.
Right.
I just went ahead and loosened everything up and fixed it, and it started to work again. And I was like, oh, and my sister came up and told me, I was like, bro, you in technology, bro. You in technology. So that's one of the reasons why I started to lean more into tech and computer and stuff. And coming back to my background, reason why I'm so into like creative space is because my sister, number one, my older sister, she drew a lot, and that kind of influenced me. She has like this fashion sense. So I started to draw also, and from that aspect, like I like to think creatively about everything, try to find, how else can something be done, right? So that, I mean, if you look at my videos also, you can also see like little bits and pieces, like different style here and there. And yeah, in terms of you said like me coming from Nigeria to America, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it wasn't like the easiest thing. We came here because of the economy, pretty much. What an incident happened
in Nigeria, or in here.
In Nigeria.
Okay, in Nigeria.
Yeah, an incident happened that was very telling on my dad's business, so everything kind of like went a little bit downwards, and then we came over here, I think in 2018. It was pretty rough, a little bit, because when I resumed school in middle school, it was a very like challenging. That's the right word. There was a lot of things I didn't know that was in society that needed that, like
society norms?
Yeah, societal norms.
Okay.
Like, for example, right, in Nigeria, this is gonna be very funny. Okay, in Nigeria, you didn't really care how, like, especially in high school or in primary school, which is like elementary, you didn't really care how somebody else like smelled or like stuff like that, right?
Sure.
Yeah, everybody kind of like, because we all run around. Like, Nigeria is a very hot place, right?
Yeah.
So people sweat. We don't really care, right?
Y'all wear deodorant, right? Y'all wear deodorant, and
we do, but like, if it wears off, nobody really cares.
Okay.
We care about like horrible smells, but if nobody really like it wasn't really like a massive issue about sweat and stuff like that, right? But when I came over here, right, I would get deodorant. I would have deodorant on me going to school, right? But then down the line, because my body was already used to like sweating so much, right?
Like odors and producing more.
Yeah, and I produce a lot more sweat and stuff. So people would like say, "Oh, you stink" or something like that. So I would think about that. I was like, why are people saying this about me and stuff like that? But those things helped me learn how to like maneuver the society, and I understand that. How would I put it now? I understand that how everybody else was raised is different and stuff. So I kind of like, we're all just kind of like students, children.
Right.
I personally didn't really focus on I'm sweating now, but then down the line I started to get more self-conscious, and it was horrible. At some point I was kind of like, well, this thought only came to my mind just once. Never again. Thinking about suicide. It only came to my mind once, and one of the reasons why it didn't come again was because of my background in Christianity. I realized that God has a purpose for me, so why would it just end it because somebody said this about me? So moving on from middle school, high school. High school was a very, very... So now I'm going to high school with all of these like insecurities,
right.
Social consciousness about like my demeanors, my mouth, my face, whatever, and it was very hard for me to like get friends. It was pretty hard. I was kind of like reserved a bit. I would just go to school and then do class and go straight home, talk to nobody pretty much. And but then pandemic hit, so I didn't really get to come out of my shell that quickly. I did have some friends that I had met in math class. Those guys stayed with me through 10th grade, 11th grade, and then 12th. Yeah.
So that's like, first off, that's just take all that into consideration. Like, bro, you're brave. I don't care what nobody says. Like, dude, like, you literally had a come up. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I was talking to my roommate about this. Like, people like you that have a, like, I'm not gonna say they came from nothing, but they have a stronger, like, people that are outside of America, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is like a sense. I'm not. I mean, it's like there's like something about like others that are not in America. They have a strong will.
Yeah.
They always like they have to. I'm not gonna say they have to go get it.
Yeah.
But they have like something that's like pushing them forward, a motivator.
Yeah.
A prime motivator. So like that's what I'm saying. Like some U.S. citizens, they're lazy.
For real.
And I feel like I would say like if you're immigrating into a new situation or a new experience,
yeah,
that kind of pushes you to strive more for a goal or just wherever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so crazy because like how you say it, because like everybody, I talked to a guy actually from El Salvador. He has the same mindset. I feel like there's like a brain. I'm not gonna say like a brain chemistry or brain but I feel like. And try to push. I think it's that one.
This one?
The other mic. Yeah, push that one down.
Oh. No way.
Yeah, it's that one.
No way. This is the time.
Bro, now we now
Okay.
got him in here, man.
Okay, let's go. We got the correct microphone now.
But yeah, like back to what I was saying, like I feel like there's a brain chemistry that like kind of alters especially when you come from a different background and go assimilate into another background. So you coming from Nigeria and assimilating back, well not assimilating back, but assimilating into another experience or like we were talking about societal norms.
Yeah.
Like you were going into so America has their own societal norms regardless of like if you're coming from a different culture or like we have our own culture. Like I'm African American.
Yeah.
If I go to Nigeria,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to go through the same struggles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go through my trials and tribulations. Exactly. But then again, if you keep staying, I would say if you have that grind and you are kind of like listening, and I feel like that brain chemistry is gonna alter. Or like, I don't know what it is. Like I feel
I think it has to do a lot with the foundation, right?
Okay.
My parents kind of instilled into me this belief of God, right?
Yeah.
God has a purpose for you to be here. So all through my childhood, have had this thing in my mind like I'm on this earth for a reason, right? And no matter what it is, I'm gonna fulfill that reason, right?
100%. So
no matter what it is that comes my way, I'm always like, okay, God, I know there's a reason, and I'm not gonna let this thing stop me. That's the motive. And another thing is, I came here with my mom. Right, my dad was already here. I came here with my mom, and my siblings are in Nigeria.
Right now.
So yeah, they are in Nigeria. And when I first came here, I was the only one that got my visa to be able to come here. Right.
Right.
So I kind of had the mindset of I have to make them proud. I can't fail at this point in time because all of them they kind of had to make sacrifices for me to be here.
That's
so
cool.
I had no choice but to just push forward. Get good grades and try my best to stay out of trouble and stuff like that. I know some Nigerians would probably, get in fights and stuff, but I couldn't do it because my dad, I realized how much he was struggling and, working. I literally couldn't see him. I still don't see him as frequently because he has to work and, get money to pay for that. So, it pushes me to stay in tune with purpose. I'm here. I have a thing that I'm assigned to do on this earth before I came here, so I must fulfill that before I go.
So, okay, I want to also talk about that. So, having a purpose. So, would you say, like, because there's going to be down moments, like you talked about, you got to have that mental stride in you. Mm-hmm. But then again, like, what if, because you're going to you're human regardless. Yeah. You're going to have downfalls and, so how do you overcome those? Like, you personally, what has been your prime motivators? Like, yes, all right, if I know all right, cool. Let's say you got a bad grade in a test, right?
Yeah. So
do you, what is your, layout? So do you sit back and, think, or, what do you do?
Okay. In terms of bad grades, I wouldn't say I don't care. I do care about bad grades. Like they annoy me a lot, but I typically just say, okay, we just have to try harder. That's what I always do, and it goes back to my foundation, right? My firm belief in God.
Right.
My main motivator is just the Bible, the things that the Bible says, right? It says you can never be the tail. I will always be the head. You can never be the tail. That's one of the verses in the Bible. So, it's kind of, when somebody else says it, it kind of sounds like a motivational quote, but it's literally what God, which is the Almighty, telling me, that you will never be the tail, you'll be the head. That is, you'll never be at the bottom. You'll always be at the top. So regardless of what it looks like physically, right? I'm always going to have that mentality of I'm above. I can't be beneath. So, and once you have that mentality, your reality starts to form to make up that mentality, to look like that mentality, right? Like it's like you have a water right here, right?
Sure.
And you put paint in the center of that water. You pour paint in the center of that water. Once you pour it in the center, it starts to like dissolve and disperse into the entirety of that water. So the water looks like the amount of paint that you put in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So once the mindset is correct, then you have everything else right. Then your physical environment, then it starts to change. Once you start to see things from the right perspective, it starts to change. Motivation for, like, even if I was down, then I'm up. This one verse always helps me. I don't know the exact quote. It says, "The righteous falls down many times, but he always gets back up." So, no matter, even if like I fall all the way down, I know God's gonna bring me back up, because that's just how He is. He said that in His Word, and a lot of times, what I have to do is just remind Him that this is what He said. So I'm just trusting Him to help me, and come back up from the depths. Talking about falling down, during the pandemic, I went down to a very, very lowest time of my life, where something I never struggled with before. Well, it was little before, but it wasn't to this extent, because there wasn't, like, I didn't have a phone for this thing to happen. When talking about addictions, right? Somebody sent me a link. I didn't know what it was. I started getting into anime, but then this person sent me this link, and I clicked on it, and it was animated porn. So gradually, man, started watching it. And then it graduated from there into watching the actual, like, pornography, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, through that experience from 2020 to 2023, I realized that the more that I cried out to God to help me, to bring me out of that, I started reading the Bible more, reading the scriptures more. I realized that God had a better plan for me than to be stuck in this. And, reading that and realizing that my reality didn't reflect what God said should be my reality, I kept reading those verses and saying, God, this is what you said about me. I can't be stuck in this addiction forever. I can't be stuck in this. And then gradually, close to the ending of 2022, I found a church online that was, like, extremely spiritual. Started watching their sermons, started watching it, and I started getting transformed. My mindset started to change. And mid 2023, I went to what's it called, a crusade kind of, like, setting, and gave my life to Jesus Christ, stuff like that. And after going through that transformation process, my mindset had changed, and boom, it stopped. I stopped being addicted, came from that lowest point of my life, and came up to, like, where I should be. And I'm still going up, it's still a thing of, like, growing, starting to see people from the right perspective, seeing the opposite sex from the right perspective, But I'm at a better place right now than where I was before. From that lowest point, God brought me up to where I am now. So I just, God really is the main factor, my motivational factor, bringing me from, like, being low to being high.
That's deep. All right, we're about to. I want to still talk about this, but we're gonna go on break for 1 second. We gotta play this this ad break. We'll see you in, like, 2 minutes. Just let us play this ad break real quick. That's deep, man. Hey, you did, bro. Yo.
Who would have thought that it was this one, bro?
Tell you, man.
At least we figured it out before it was ended.
Mm-hmm. Is it playing? But yeah, I like that. That was deep, man. I didn't even know you went through all that, you know?
Hey, we don't look like your scars.
Bro. But we gotta get back into it, trust me. We're gonna talk about, you know, like addiction as well, like, because, you know, people go through stuff, like, I've went through my own things, you know, but, you know, it's like how you go about life and how you understand, like, you gotta first understand what you're going through, like, be like, okay, like, you know, you was talking about, you know, addiction, so, did you, like, you had to understand where it came from, the source. It's always the source, and then that's when you pivot.
At the base, that's right, you have to cut it off.
Yeah, man. I feel like men should, you know, I don't know how it is for women, but I feel like men should talk about this type of stuff, you know.
A lot more, yeah, because people just, they try as much as possible to avoid this conversation, and it's something that we really need to talk about. It's something that we need to talk about. Too many people struggle with this thing. And as of right now, like, schools are telling young guys that it's just normal. It's not. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're going to start seeing, like, literally, if you do, when or if you do get married, you won't be able to enjoy that action. Like, you won't be able to enjoy it. Because you've already, like, you're going to start to imagine one of those, what do you call them, porn stars, while you're having sex with your own wife. So it's not gonna be the same. It's better to, you know, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, experience, bro. That's not experience, bro. That's ruining your life.
All right, we're about to go back in a minute. I'm gonna restart this one again.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
We back.
All right, man. So, you know, speaking about, you know, addictions. So, I personally have my own addictions, you know, like, so I would say I used to have, like, I wouldn't say it's a spending addiction, but, like, I almost kind of, I wouldn't say I got closed-minded, but, like, I just wanted clothes because like you said, societal norms, like, here in America, like, people really, like, look at you, like, when they judge, it's like, that's the first thing they're going to do is judge, like.
Exactly.
The first is that, like, so when I was going to middle school, like, I was, you know, trying to, because, so, like you, I was a military brat, so I moved everywhere. And so, like, I haven't really had that one foundation. I just was just like, here. So I came from Germany, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I was in Germany, and I came to America, and seeing how people dress in America, I'm like, all right, cool. So they got a different, and this is Maryland. I came to Maryland.
Yeah.
So, but I was in a different part of Maryland at the time. But it's crazy because, like, people literally, like, especially here in America, they completely judge you off, especially how you look. One,
for real.
So, like, your hair, I would say your skin, and then your clothes. Like, that's the three main things that, you know, a kid, or a young teenager or an adult. Shoot, even adults now, they still judge.
For real.
But they just don't say it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, like, people need to talk about this, like, especially here in America, like, I wouldn't say their kids are not taught. Because kids have mentors around and have people, like, you know, adults, to tell them these things, but I feel like it's other kids in the classroom or, like, that's just like, hey, like, they just throw you that one bad apple and then you're like, let's try it. Like,
let's try it out, yeah.
So, like, you know, going off of addiction, like, that's kind of, I wouldn't say that's how it starts, but, like, there's always that one source or that one bad friend or that one bad moment of your downtime, and you just like, let's take that. Let's
try it out.
And then it just goes off like.
Yeah.
The other day I heard. I don't know if you know this musical artist. It's a musical artist. The name of Sir.
Sir? Oh, not heard.
Yeah. So he's an R&B artist. He just opened about his I think I don't know what type of addiction he had, but he said he was addicted to something. And like he was like, this is why I wasn't making music because I was battling something. You know what I'm saying? Like he was battling himself. So I feel like it's it's a brave moment for him to talk about it because it's shunned upon.
Yeah.
Like if someone has addiction, they just feel like they can't tell anybody, and they feel trapped in their own like demise. Like you can't it feels like you've done a bad thing. Like you can't escape from it because you can escape. Like
yeah. And
that's what we need to really be on is like, bro, you can escape. You could there's people out there that help you. Go to therapy. Oh my God, bro. People sleep on therapy, bro. Go to therapy. Like if you are not in the right state of mind, go to therapy. Like. Yeah. I went to therapy. Like it helps, dude. Like it really does. Like I'm not gonna say that it's just all them, but it also falls back on you because like you're like now understanding. Okay, this is where I need to be, and now they're kind of like what my therapist did. They gave me like situations where I was talking to my mom, so I was kind of observing from a third sense. Like it was like she was like, so talk to your mom in this tone of voice and see how how it changes.
Yeah,
and so. Once I did that, I promise you, I came back into a greater state of mind. Like I actually, I pivoted. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this information, and then put it into an internal source. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm taking my, I'm not gonna say anger, but I was like, I would go, I don't know, read a book, go draw, go. Do something that I love to do. Enjoy yourself, bro. Like I'm young, I'm thriving, and I'm alive. Like, bro, just breathe. Like breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. Just breathe.
Breathe.
Like for real. Like everybody, just right now, just like breathe. Like what they tell you to do, you just breathe in and out. And see how you feel after that. Like it really when you just take a step back and actually just breathe, everything's gonna I promise you everything's just gonna click. It's gonna start clicking. I didn't have this, and it always is. It's a start. There's always a start. So I didn't have this state of mind, but I wouldn't say. So my dad, and my mother, I wouldn't even say they installed this into me, but I was just watching how they move, and it's always I found so interesting, especially with psychology. If you really understand the psychology of human beings in itself, we are literally creatures of destruction, or we can what's the word, not destruction, or you building something.
We tend to disassemble.
No. So how you destruct something, but we also could build it. So technology, technology, we use that as an aid, and we build it, we uplift it. So we can create, we can create, we can create, and we can destruct. So it's like a equilibrium. You kind of have to, you got to understand the human principles, and what, also God as well. Understand, take these things into consideration when you're going about life. That's how you really pivot and move forward in life. So also, just breathe, man. Just breathe.
Yeah. You mentioned therapy, right?
Yeah.
And there's this verse in the Bible that, actually says something similar to that. It says something like this. You have to, when a sin is put out there, it's harder for you to continue in that sin, right? Same thing with addictions. When you tell somebody about it, you feel like you're being watched constantly, right? And you're less prone to, go ahead and continue in that. So, therapy is good. Having some form of conversation with somebody else and putting out there. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So also I wanted to, talk about what, so other than, the addiction that you have, so what addiction have you seen in the community, let's say, African or Black community, what have you seen in the community that we've, really struggled with?
I've seen. Okay. This is gonna be something very unique. Okay.
It doesn't have to be with you. It's just saying like what have you observed?
Okay. I've observed a couple. Number one, you mentioned spending.
Spending, yes.
I had somebody live with us for a while, and I just looked at the sheer amount of shoes that they had. I was like, okay, you don't need this many shoes. And I realized that a lot of people, buy stuff and buy and buy and buy and buy. And watching a lot of videos recently, I realized that one of the main reasons why the black community isn't like growing as it should is because we keep ourselves there. If you really think about it, a lot of people that produce these things, they're the one getting all the money, right?
Mm.
We are just giving it to them. We're earning money, and then we're giving it back to them. We're earning money, and then we're giving it back to them. And we're not trying to come out of that and realize, wait a minute, we're not really growing as a race.
You're not making no profit.
Yeah, we're not making any profit. So that's number one. Spending. I think certain things you don't need. I think we have this issue of wanting to acquire to show that, oh, we have status or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessary. I mean, once you get comfortable with yourself, you don't need to prove anything to anybody else. That's one of the things that I learned, like, while I was in high school. I didn't have enough money to buy some certain jackets and stuff. Even the jacket that I wore throughout my high school experience, one of them, somebody actually gave it to me for free. God sent somebody I didn't know randomly. God sent her to, it was a very cold day, and I was walking to school. Didn't know it was gonna snow, and I was walking to school with no jacket on, and she just stopped by the roadside, and she was like, "Oh, hey, do you need a jacket?" I know it sounds like I could have gotten kidnapped, right? But you just had this piece, I just had this piece inside of me, and I was like, okay, let me just get in the car with her. And then she dropped me at my school, Baltimore City College, and later during the day while I was in my chemistry class, she came and dropped off two jackets actually, one blue one and one green one. Literally throughout my high school, those two, I wore them. So
bro, that's love, bro.
Yeah, and I realized that this is what I had. Imagine if I didn't have anything. It would be better. It would be better to have that than have nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I wore those throughout my high school experience, and it taught me I don't really care about what people think. I saw people, different hoodies, jackets and stuff. Growing into 11th grade, 12th grade, I started to get different types of hoodies and stuff, but it wasn't as much. I had already learned that I don't need so many things, right? So number one, spending. Number two, it's gonna ruffle some feathers, but smoking. Yeah, smoking.
Bro, if you really look at the statistics of it, like, bro, especially in America, yo, the rate of smoking, especially in households of like, kids under the age of like 15.
Yeah, bro.
It's mad. It's so high, man. I don't know what happened after, like, especially at the that age of COVID.
Yeah.
Like after.
It just went all the way up.
Yo, that, like, we really gotta, especially that there's ads everywhere now. Like, ads just, like, piling up of, like, vape or.
Yeah, bro, vape, bro. It's so addicting. Nicotine.
I promise you, I've seen vape almost, like, so many times on this campus. Like, you don't understand the amount of, like, people I've seen vaping. It's crazy, man. We really need to, like.
Yeah.
But, like, why are they vaping? Like, is it, like, do you think it's a social status or, like.
Nah. I think it's because of
stress.
I think it's peer influence. A lot of it is peer
Influence?
Yeah, you see your friends taking this, and you're like, oh, let me also try it out, and you want to look cool with your friends. And number two is also addicting. Like, they have nicotine in there, and nicotine is a very addicting substance, and it's not good for you. But hey, people don't once you actually sit down, analyze. Wait a minute, what are these chemicals that I'm inhaling into my system?
Right.
Then you start to, oh, wait a minute. This is bad.
But they're not thinking, or it's just like mentors as well. Like, people don't have mentors right now. You bro, get a mentor for like anybody. Like, you need to get a mentor. Like, it's not just for like kids. Like, you could always have a mentor throughout your life. You don't even have to like. I'm not even gonna say you have like someone that. Okay, that's the thing about this. All right, so what I did, I got a guidance counselor. She didn't even know she was my mentor, but I made her my mentor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was learning, like, I was going to, like, the session with her to try, try to get my resume done.
Yeah.
But I made her my mentor. She didn't even know.
Wow.
Like, I was just finding like-minded people that can help me out and uplift me in a sense. And especially in the black community, that's kind of frowned upon.
Yeah.
Which is kind of whack. I think that we should really be, like, investing into ourselves. And then, cause, like, I'm not gonna say we're taking over, but we taking over. Like, we've really. There's people that empower, but, like, we have to take the chance and actually, like, go forward.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Like it's like a crab in a barrel mindset. Like, they're always trying to pull someone else down with, like, you can never rise, bro.
Yeah.
Because there's always someone that wants to tear you down. But then when you find those really, like, solid people, those, like, godlike people, like, that really want to change and really want to change others around them and, like, just uplift each other in a sense.
Yeah. I think, talking about mentor, I think it's very good to find somebody that will tell you something that you don't want to hear. Like, the hard things that you don't want anybody to tell you, they will tell you to your face. If you're doing something wrong, they will tell you, this thing you did is bad. Don't do it ever again. And I think that's what's lacking. People don't want to ruffle feathers, right? People don't want to say something that, will get somebody offended, but will help them in the future. I think this society is messed up in a way where everybody is, this is the best word I can use right now. For lots of words, I'll just use soft in a way. You need, to an extent, you need hardship to be able to develop into the better version of yourself, right? If somebody is just saying things that you want to hear, you're not going to be that version. You're not going to come out of the addiction. You're not going to come out of smoking. You're not going to come out of any of that. You need somebody to tell you straight to your face, what you're doing is wrong. It's bad, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what your feeling is, it's bad.
But it's bad, but it looks cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
It looks cool. Like, it's like, like, it's always that looks cool or it tastes good. Like, or we only live once. We only live once is the best. Oh my God! The amount of people that told me you only live once, like, bro.
The fact that you only live once, shouldn't that make your life a lot more precious than you just waste it on something that's so insignificant? You could be using that same time that you're spending smoking vape or doing whatever it is, using it to make the world better.
Or go learn, man.
Go learn.
Go
Build
learn.
yourself. Read a book. You literally, like, look at Martin Luther King. The guy did something that literally etched his name in history forever. He's going to be remembered forever.
Yeah.
Imagine if he had just been sitting down and the vision that he had in his mind of setting black people, of like advocating for black people. If he just sat down and said, man, let me just do something that's cool. Something that everybody likes. Something that all my friends would like. Smoking and doing that. Imagine if he did that. Slavery would still be a thing. His name wouldn't be etched in history. But you wouldn't know the name at all. Rosa Parks. All these people.
Malcolm X.
Like, bro, they use their time wisely, and now their name is literally in history. They can't be forgotten. Their names are already in history books. Going back to the Bible, look at Jesus. Jesus did not do the popular thing in his time. Bro got killed because of like, his purpose, and for that, he's remembered for, like, literally, I don't think Jesus is going out of season for a long time. He's literally, like, imagine if Jesus had just followed everybody else and did what everybody else was doing. No.
He wouldn't be in there.
It wouldn't, like, you would just forget about the guy, bro. He would just be like every other person. But no, he stood out, decided, okay, not going to do what everybody else is doing. Not going to just waste my time. I have a purpose. I have a reason that I'm here, and I'm going to follow that purpose and make sure that it's fulfilled. That's a wise way to use your time. You can't just, everybody else is doing this, I must follow along. Once you stop caring about what people say, once you stop caring about what people do, like, my friend group, they, when I was in high school, the friend group that I said I met from 2020 to 12th grade, 2023, they know me. The fact that certain things, I just can't do it. Whether they all want to do it, I just can't. For example, of course, prom is a good thing, but for me personally, I just told them, like, they already know me.
You have your boundaries. Like,
yeah.
I mean.
Like, I have things that I can't overstep because, right, I have somebody that's going to tell me straight to my face, no. My dad was that kind of person. My mentor was that kind of person. He is still that kind of person. So, you know, let's stop, like, babying each other and like, being afraid of telling people the truth. Because once this truth is suppressed, then everything that everybody knows is just a lie.
But the truth is hard, man.
It is.
Like, we can say this as much as we want. We can preach this as much as we want. But truly, like, people are always going to revert back to being, like, because we're, like, humans, I'm not going to say we're naturally lazy, but we're going to always try to find the easiest way out of things. Yeah. That's just how I think, I'm not going to lie, this is how human nature is. But I feel like if you, not bypass, but, like, just, you know, like, I've struggled with that still. I'm still struggling with that now. Like, I truly have tried to find, like, ways to, like, overcome my addiction to my phone. My phone in the sense of, like, social media and just, like, all that comes with it. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, I'm not saying that I'm the best guy ever. Like, I'm never going to, like, I could say this and I'll be a fraud. True. I would be a fraud if I said that I'm not addicted to my phone. Yes. But I am. And I'm, you know, but I'm trying though. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, I'm you know, I'm young. I'm gonna get it, man. I'm getting it right now. I'm still trying, I'm trying to understand who I am as a person. And when you understand because time is a valuable thing, man. Like, I was just talking about this with my roommate. Time in itself, like, you got to understand the concept of time. Like, truly, is time like, what is time to you? Is time real? First off, how are you using your time? When are you using your time? And, like, it's just like, you got to understand these questions. Yeah. And then understand, like, I don't think nobody can understand time. I think I've come to like, you cannot understand time unless you have the magical power to just like. But at least try. Just try. Like, if we try, you're gonna get somewhere. If you don't, you're gonna fail. I mean, it's all calculated. It's literally kind of, if you put in a map, it's symbols and, like, using, like, formulas. There's a formula to life. Yeah. But people understand that, like, you could literally, like, if you follow, there's a formula where you could proceed and, like, and actually do good in life. Like, that's why I love math, because, like, numbers and symbols, I feel like that has correlated to human beings and how we've leveled up. And, like, you know, signs. There's signs, like how you say God. Like, there's signs, like, they throw you signs. Like that's how we evolved over time. Like, there's just been, you know, like, I don't know. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, time. I mean, think about this, right? Time is the one thing that you can never have back. The 2 seconds ago can never come back again. So, thinking about it like that, I mean, okay, you mentioned YOLO, like, some time ago, right? People say, oh, you only live once. You only live once. That's why they do all these things, because, oh, you only have one life, right? So shouldn't that make you value your life a lot more? I feel so bad when people do that. But then I'm like, you have only one life. You're not coming back again. That's one lie that's very popular when people believe that you're gonna be coming back, or reincarnation and all that. Bro, how sure are you about that? You've never done that. You're not even aware that you're gonna be reincarnated, right? So being aware that, okay, there's a possibility, this is the one life I'm gonna have. Why not use it to the best thing, the best way you can possibly do? This time that you're spending right now, we're never gonna have it back. Use it wisely. Use it for the most important thing, family. Use it for your purpose. Use it to make a positive impact on somebody's life, on the world. You can't waste this life that you have. You only have one. That you're aware of. Yeah, you only have one.
Bro, that's, like, I think in this hour, we have actually spent our time wisely. Yeah. We have understood I'm not going to say understand the concept of time, but we understand the value of time in itself. And we're shedding light onto that and actually opening up doors onto other people and inspiring others, and which is the whole point of Visionary Collective and why I started this. Like, I'm telling you right now, like you and yourself, you're like on a whole different level. I already know you're gonna rise and keep going. Like this is what I'm trying to understand. That's what I'm trying to build a community right now and uplift people, because like people need to understand their financial literacy. Like literacy in itself, like just understand the value of education and the understanding of like learning in itself. Like you really need to do a deep dive. I'm gonna keep saying this because I'm gonna get this in people's head. Like you need to understand education, bro. Like educate yourself and just grow, elevate. Like come on, man. We're too old for this, man. This is getting whack. Like we have chances and we're not taking it. Yeah. And I'll be a fraud and saying I'm not taking this because I need to take the chances and that's why I'm using Towson as a resource. I'm using using this platform as a resource. Use resources, man. Like use them to your ChatGPT. We have a resource. Use it. AI. People talking about it's gonna take over our lives. If you use it as a resource and as a actual what it's supposedly to do, and help you, you got world peace right there, my brother. It's simple and it's all formula. Just go back to that formula. Core values. Go back to your just understand the world and get out there. Yeah. Just get out there and just do your own thing. Do your own research. Do your research. Like my brother right here, he did what he did. What he did is his research. He built a whole computer by himself. You understand how much that's the thought process and the critical thing and the mind bending and the tolls it takes on you. Yeah. That's deep. There's people out there that's getting it, man. There's people out there that want it more than you. So, and it's kind of like a challenge because, I'm sorry, humans, we want to, I'm not going to say it's not a battle, but, competing, it's kind of like human nature, man. You kind of want to, I'm not going to say compete, but you always want to, not one up.
Yeah, be the best.
But just be the best you as, you can be. But then again, you want to have surrounded people. You want to have people that will also kind of compete against you and, help you out and
healthy competition.
Healthy competition. There we go. Hey, visionary collectors, healthy competition. That's what you need, and that's all in the psychology. What does that go back to? Education.
Yeah, you gotta build yourself up. And I'm always gonna go back to the Bible because it's the best reference that I have. The Bible always says this, right? The devil is the king of darkness, right? And guess what darkness is referred to in the Bible? Ignorance. Ignorance is lack of information.
Ignorance is bliss.
Right? And as long as you don't have information, as long as whatever aspect of your life that you are limited in information, the devil controls you in that aspect. If it's your finances, the devil controls you in that aspect. If it's your relationship, the devil controls you in that aspect. If it's love, the devil controls you in that aspect. Whatever it is that you don't have enough information about, the devil is going to control you in that aspect. It's going to control every aspect of your life that you don't have enough information. Because information is power. If you look at in history, the slave masters and stuff, the main reason why they were able to keep black people enslaved or anyways enslaved is because of the information they held. They had more information. The British that came to colonize Nigeria and stuff, when they came, the reason they could colonize Nigeria is because they had more information. The information gave them more power, which was to create weapons and stuff. They had more artillery. They had more information, while Nigerians at that time didn't have that much information. If you look at the way the global economy is run right now, it's run on information
and power.
Yeah, the third world countries that aren't doing as well, they don't have that much information on how to build a good country because the system wasn't built by them, number one. But on how to build a good country on just amassing wealth, exporting, importing, they don't have that much information. Even the leaders of these countries, they are very limited. So, information is power. If you don't have information, you're going to be limited in too many ways.
And there we go. That's a wrap for that. Hey, thank you, Favour, man. Hey, shout yourself out again.
Yeah. Well, follow me on Instagram at GIK_GoddessKing and YouTube GIK_GoddessKing. God bless.
All right, thank you. Hey, thank you for everybody that tuned in. Hey, this is Visionary Collectors. We're with Favour. Hey, and that's a wrap.
Sure.
That was a great episode.
Sir. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we had to get that message out there, bro.
Yes, sir. Bro, it's funny how we didn't even have anything written down and stuff like that.
Hey, that's what thought leaders do, man. They just, I tell you, I was gonna already have this in my head, like,
Yeah.
I like once you already have that visionary mindset and that God mindset, bro, you already set, like, you're not gonna fail.